What's up, everybody? Um, One of the biggest enemies for the Braves so far has been Mother Nature. Uh, Postponed for tonight's game. They've given me the opportunity to do a CassMac chat, talk about the latest developments on our pitching staff, and just the overall start of the season has been a solid one. Uh, which is the best part about it. So wait till some people get in here, but take a bummer within the weather and make it a good thing. Doing a chat. Looks like we're still going to go to Alan Winans tomorrow. Just give the whole rotation an extra day. And maybe give Mac Fried an extra breather of just trying to get out of the first inning unscathed and get back to the Max Fried we know. He might be the run support guy, though. There's always one in the rotation that always gets the run support no matter what. So, but obviously the big bummer is Spencer Strider likely out until the mid of 2025 with his Tommy John surgery. They haven't said it yet, but excuse me, I think that is what everyone is assuming. And you just hate it. You hate all the pitching injuries. I don't think it has anything to do with the pitch clock. Obviously, there's a lot of factors, but the reality is, in the beginning of the season, because you're so careful in spring training and such, you want the guys to get innings and stuff, but they're not going 1,000% like they are in in regular season games because those matter. So maybe the amped up the amped upness of the games mattering might have a factor in that. And I know everybody's freaking out about the pitching depth and that our starting rotation hasn't exactly gotten off to the flying start we all wanted, especially with Spencer's injury. And the pitching depth, I could agree you always need more pitching than you think because of all these injuries. But the reality is that it's happened across the league, so I don't think there's like the starting pitching is like gold, so it's not going to be easy to acquire, and I don't think we're there yet with all the pitching depth that is there. Really, give me the Marlins and the Yankees instead of Jackson Holiday's debut. That stinks, but I think it's just it just is what it is, kind of. And hopefully there's like a stretching program or something that guys can start doing to kind of strengthen the muscles or something to that effect so that they're not the early torque of pitching when they haven't pitched since September or October. That could be a factor. I'm not sure though, but yeah, I'm really loving the start. Otherwise, of Marcelo Ozuna. Talk about a whirlwind of different starts. He was maybe 3 days from getting designated for assignment last year, and he's been the catalyst this year in our lineup with the RBIs and the homers. I think he has 5 already. So that is huge. And I like that the bottom of the lineup has done a lot of things because Ronald hasn't necessarily got off the hottest start that he wants. But yesterday, 3 stolen bases, couple of singles, 4 stolen bases total, and you can see that his timing is starting to ramp back up, which is great. And he's you can see he's frustrated, but what I like is he's still getting 2 3-ball counts and making the pitchers work, and still been a really big factor in the offensive success, even though he hasn't gone yard yet and gone on the Ronnie tears that we love to see. I think it's amazing that our offense has still been as amazing as it has been, averaging 6.9 runs a game, and that's, I mean, Ronald's been getting on base still, but he's not been producing the extra bases that we're used to seeing, and we're still doing as well as we are. That is a really, really good sign because, Ronnie can carry a team for 2 to 3 week stretch if we need it. And then you got obviously Adam Duvall and all that. Adam Duvall getting off to a great start. Jared Kelenic hitting safely in 10 straight in his 10 starts with the Braves. And some of those he hasn't played the full game because of lefties starting. So that's really impressive. I think he's put a little too much pressure on himself in the couple of games against the Mets, just trying to do too much, prove the Braves right, and kind of stick it to the Mets, which that's a valid human reaction for sure. But I'm really liking the approach for Jared Kelenic. Not a little bit more strikeouts lately, but not in an egregious rate. And his arm has been amazing. His defense has been amazing. Throwing out Harrison Bader yesterday, trying to stretch a single into a double, things of that nature. Just doing the little things, and that's been really good. We only have 2 errors. Ozzy has had both of the errors, which is, even though the first one, Max has got to make a better throw. But I don't know if Ozzy, because of his shoulder issue from a couple of years ago, has started the drop down slingshot type of throw, but hopefully that doesn't become a total issue. But Ozzy, I think it leads us in RBIs with 11, and we're the first team in MLB history to already have 30 doubles in our first 10 games. I think I read that today. So the offense hasn't necessarily completely got its power stroke, but it's definitely got the extra base hit stroke, and it's really fun to see that for sure. And the different heroes, Travis d'Arnaud, I know he's no Sean Murphy, but he has got the walk-off against the Diamondbacks, nearly had the walk-off in the first game against the Mets, just hit it hard. Starling Marte was just there. He's had really good at-bats, and I think that's another factor too, even though Ronnie hasn't got completely going yet. The deep counts, the 9-pitch at-bats, the 7-pitch at-bats, and collectively having that has kind of helped us out as well. And all the games that we've lost, we have had good comeback attempts. I know the bullpen coming off an amazing series against the Arizona Diamondbacks, where they didn't allow a run in 14 1/3. Unfortunately, kind of chink in the armor a little bit against the Mets, but the Mets have been so poor offensively to start. You knew they were going to wake up at some point, and the Braves bullpen had to be used a lot more than we probably anticipated with Max Fried's struggles early on and the Spencer Strider injury. So it's not too much of a surprise that there would be a chink in the armor. And as much as a lot of people don't think the Mets are going to be a competitive bunch, right now they still have Francisco Lindor, they still have Pete Alonso, they still have annoying Brandon Nimmo, who decided to have a career game, the first game on Hank Aaron night. And some of those pitches weren't bad pitches. Some of them were, and we just didn't get them back. But the usage is definitely not a help early on for the bullpen, and they can't be perfect all the time. So, and we were able to hang on last night, and some wins aren't going to be necessarily the prettiest, and as baseball fans, we know that. But I do like the trend that our bullpen can get. We've seen our bullpen, Jesse Chavez, Dylan Lee, Joe Jimenez be able to get multiple outs, 5 outs from Jimenez. Dylan Lee's gone strong too. Tyler Matzik had a bit of a rough one yesterday, giving up the 3-run bomb to Pete Alonso, but he has as well. He got the big 8th inning on Sunday against the Diamondbacks. Got Ketel Marte and the big lefties in their lineup out, so that's a confidence boost. Even though yesterday didn't go great, Iggy has been very infrequently used, or not infrequently, just like a weird thing where he couldn't get into a rhythm with the rainouts, the not needing him for a couple of the blowouts, and so that's also a factor for Iggy. But he got the big strikeout out of Pete Alonso. So again, I think we're really in a good spot, considering we haven't really gotten a groove of consistently playing and figuring out the rotation stuff. Obviously, depth is going to be tested there, but I'm really happy with where we're at. I mean, we have just as many losses as rainouts, so it's kind of hard to get in a rhythm. But it does help Travis, who's taken the bulk of the catching duties since Sean Murphy went on the IL with his oblique strain. He is working on the treadmill now. Obliques are dumb and annoying, that they're just a long injury that you don't want to rush. And luckily we have Travis and Chadwick, who's done a really nice job with Chris Sale in his 2 starts, getting into the 6th inning in both of them, which is really nice. And they've worked really well together. And Chadwick got a really key RBI sacrifice fly as well. So I think he's played his role very nicely, and I'm really happy about that. It is amazing, though, that I think how prolific the Braves were in the 1st inning. Last season, they've flipped that to the 8th inning. I think we've scored 23 or 24 runs in the 8th inning. And if we want to keep that trend, that is totally fine with me. Especially because Ronald's starting to figure it out too. So it might flip back to the 1st inning, which either way is cool with me. But doing that against the premium bullpen arms and having as many runs as we've had in the 8th inning. That is the mark of a great team. I want to see if is the chat working. I hope. But yeah, the 8th inning is the new first inning, at least for the first 10 game, which is a amazing accomplishment. Like I said, even the games we haven't won, I mean, probably the most annoying one is having a 4-0 lead on Hank Aaron Knight and letting that one slip away. But we still fought tooth and nail, and the games we haven't won, we've had a really good chance to win. So I think you really take that, and the at-bats have been amazing. Despite hitting the ball hard and somewhat not getting results, like last night, a couple of 100-mile-an-hour bolts that didn't go our way, but the at-bats are still very, very competitive and awesome. Gary Crochet had our number, but Gary Crochet is absolutely filthy in Chicago, and I think they've got a cornerstone piece there. Obviously, if he can stay healthy, but that's the only guy that's kind of slowed down our offense, which is really good, because Zach Wheeler, we never get hits off of, but we were able to get his pitch count high enough, and it was opening day to go in the Phillies bullpen. So that's always very, very important. Ronaldo Lopez definitely got to tip the cap. 6 innings in both of his starts. 1 run against Chicago, and it was kind of a cheap run. Not hit hard at all. Just, and then last night, 6 shutout was really, really awesome. So I think whoever said to stretch outs. Oh, good. The chat is working. What's up, Matt? I was worried that it wasn't working. I'm good. Just kind of breaking down the start of the season. Ronaldo Lopez being stretched out as the starter has proven to be a godsend for our rotation at this point. And I know it's 2 starts in, and you don't want to get overly excited, but the ability for him to sprinkle in some 97s and 98s and feel good, and then take the speed off and do what he's done is really one of the really bright spots. Chris Sale's been that as well. The offense is doing the offense's thing. 30 doubles already. I mentioned that earlier. Matt Olson going the other way a lot with authority. Has been one of my favorites. Obviously, Jared Kelenic getting off to the solid start with the Braves. Offensively, defensively, the throw he made and the catch he made, the throw he made last night to get Bader, and then the catch he made in Philadelphia to open the year. That's a supreme upgrade for Alan Winans. It will be Winans tomorrow as well. They announced that. I think they just want an extra day for everybody, just to kind of. Plus, we haven't really been able to get into a rhythm with the three rainouts. We just really haven't been able to get in a rhythm, pitching wise, starting wise anyway. So Yeah, it was Alan Winans. Alan Winans has pitched a lot against the Mets in his short career, which is kind of weird. Yeah, it's probably likely for Strider. The Tommy John, and it sucks. And it is what it is, and I appreciate that they're being private about it until they're ready to officially. But yeah, it's a tough blow, no doubt about it. And I hope that people, I don't know why that light did that. I hope that people don't think any. I talked about it at the beginning, but just the idea that it's all the pitch clock's fault. No, it's not. I think it's the major. It, in my opinion, it's you're so careful in spring training. You go from 2 innings to 4 innings to 6 innings to 90 pitches. And I think that's because you're working on things in spring training. You're not going 1,000%. Even if you're trying to make the team, I don't think you're going 1,000%. And then just to have to flip that switch is a lot of torque on the elbow, the arm, and things of that nature. So I feel like that's a big factor. But it sucks no matter how you slice it. Yes, only 3 more games for the Hornets, thankfully. So it'll stop making me have to watch the Braves on Gamecast, and I can watch the Hurricanes too, but also the Braves, because when the Hornets and Hurricanes play on at the same time, it's well, okay, yeah, grip. I think there's a lot of factors, but I have a hard time believing that it's the pitch clock. That's all I'll say. Everything else, I think you can make an argument for. I did not like the idea that we took 2 seconds off of the pitch clock with runners on. I thought that was a little unnecessary. I mean, we have seen a uptick in the sweepers. Maybe that was a factor. I mean, I think you can point to a lot of things, but it just sucks because that Strider worked so hard to do everything. So I'm not going to say no, but I don't think anybody can point the finger directly at one superior cause. But I think or adding some tackiness wouldn't hurt things, honestly. If somebody was able to make that happen, but and I think I like the approach of the Braves. Obviously, it's so early in the season. Yeah, I don't have the Belly Sports app. It's okay because the Hornets will be done in 3 days, and then I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I was hoping that MLB Network would show the Red Sox Oriole game so I could watch his debut, but they turned on.
Right. I got video of him with his shoe off, bragging about his sock. But it's 3 years old. It's still white.
But they put on the Yankees and Marlins instead. I don't know. I mean, I like the approach of the Braves to not have like a knee-jerk reaction. Obviously, nobody's gonna replace Strider, but that's why pitching depth is so important, and it's been a chronic issue across the league, which is unfortunate. which is why I hope somebody can figure out something, because it's not like you're gonna stop doing what got you here. And I think that the emphasis on velocity is a factor for sure, but I also think that's also a cop out because other guys are getting Tommy John surgery as well. But I do appreciate the Braves' reaction to not knee jerk it. I mean, it's only 10 games into the season. And it's not like quality pitching grows on trees, and you just gotta write it out and play it out the way you need to. That's just the reality. And we used 16 pitchers last year, so it sucks. And I've said that a lot, but yeah, Waldrop. I mean, Waldrop had a rough one to begin AA, but I mean, guys, pitching is hard, and when you're off, guys are gonna make you pay no matter what league anyone is in. So and good pitchers have rough nights. It doesn't. Nobody's immune to a bad night here or there. So I think. I think that's just the reality. Yeah. And stretching out Ronaldo Lopez was a clutch move as well. Yeah, Ozuna is off to a blazing start. And I really appreciate the leader that Marcell has been, especially for Jared Kelenic, getting that first bloop double, first at bat in Truist Park, and talking to him, talking him up and hyping him up. And the reality is that the bats are so good. Yeah, sad to see the post moment, Chris. Oh yeah, he'll hit his first homer soon, don't worry. But I think the reality of him not having that knee scare and not having as many at bats as he would usually have has been a big factor. And he even said that last night, and he's handled this slow start in stride. Still getting deep counts, still walking, still hitting singles, and he had 3 stolen bases last night that were clutch. And his attitude has been amazing. With this slow start, I mean, yeah, he's been frustrated, but he's still factoring in big time on our victories. So that's all that matters. Yeah, I think he's gonna hit it soon. It'll probably come against the Marlins just because they are bad this year. And every decision they have made from the offseason to the regular season has not worked out, and they voided the 3rd-year option on Skip Schumacher. So it's almost like they're already punting. And the AJ Puck experiment as a starter has been pretty bad, really bad. The Marlins are just ugh. And of course, even the worst teams are still going to win 70 to 75. So, So I think Ronnie will get extra base hit homer healthy against the Marlins, but I'm not worried. He doesn't seem worried. He was joking about it last night. He said um he was stole 3 bases because he hadn't been on base for so long, and just laughed about it. So the attitude with this slow start has been great, and that's what you want to see. Um, yeah, so hopefully we can get the game in tomorrow. The weather doesn't look great for tomorrow either, so hopefully we can get it in. But I mean, there's been so much fun stuff. No, he has not, but he has reached base in all 10 games that he has played. So that is something huge for Kelnick. And he's had really good at bats. I know he's struck out a little bit more recently, probably trying to do a little too much against his former team. But I've really liked his approach and his at bats a lot to start the season. And his defense is definitely a big time upgrade. No disrespect to Eddie or anyone. Yeah, I think it's coming. I think it's coming soon, quickly. Maybe somebody needs to go touch Ozuna's bat because he's got the home run juice so far. I think he's up to 5, and been really clutch with them too. And I did say this earlier, but the 8th inning magic so far, it's kind of the reverse of last year. First inning, it's been in the 8th inning. I think we've scored 23 or so runs, and doing that against the best of the bullpens is really nice to see. The Phillies, the Diamondbacks, and the Diamondbacks, and Mets so far. I think Matt's fine. Matt's got 3 homers already, so I think we're okay. And the extra base hit thing is still cranking up there. We got our double stroke down big time. So that's really good to see. Loving what Travis is doing. I know everybody's like, he's a downgrade offensively for Murphy, and that's a true statement. No, Arcia has not homered yet. I can give you who has homered: Ozzy, Riley, Olsen, Ozuna. Yeah. Murphy has started working on the treadmill. So a little closer, but those obliques are annoying and dumb. So you got to be very careful. I think only 5 of our 9 guys in the lineup have homered so far. So I think Travis has done a really nice job. I know he didn't expect to take the bulk of things. Oh, yeah. Harris is homered. Sorry. So, who hasn't homered? Kelnick, Ronnie, Arcia, Duval, has not. So. Yeah, I think he got kind of weather robbed of one in Chicago. He almost went back to back with well, yeah, I guess no disrespect to Trump, but I guess I didn't even and Travis hasn't either. So I guess I shouldn't have overly assumed. But yeah, our power stroke in terms of home runs hasn't fully gotten activated yet. But we're still getting doubles and scoring a lot of runs. I think we averaged 5.9 runs a game so far this season. So that'll play big time. But it's awesome. Probably not. Probably not. He was gonna get a appearance in Chicago before he got banged for snow. But probably not right now, but a month probably. A month or so. That's usually the timetable for like a grade 1, but I think with the way the Braves have started so far, I think they might play it a little bit more safe, maybe a month and a half. But the traditional timetable for an oblique like that is at least a month. So, and I did touch on the bullpen a little bit. Obviously coming off the great series against Arizona and then kind of hitting a blip against the Mets, but it's going to happen considering all the juggling we've done in the starting rotation. Max Reed not getting off to the greatest of starts. Just trying to figure out it again, the rhythm of not playing consistently with all the rainouts, even though this rainout actually might do our bullpen pretty good. Just because the usage has been up and the usage of Raisel Iglesias has been sporadic and weird, where we can't get a rhythm there either. Pierce Johnson, I wish he would throw his fastball a little bit more, but I also respected his answer of my curveball is what got me to the big leagues and what made me stay in the big leagues. So, you just gotta. I wish you would throw it a little bit more, just to throw off the hitter's pattern and timing, so that they can't completely guess. But it's fair enough that it's your best pitch and you want to win or die with your best pitch, I guess. So, that's. So, I mean, I'm really happy. Joe Jimenez has gotten off to a really solid start this season. And I like the fact that our guys have been able to throw multiple innings. Chavez has really rubbed off on Dylan Lee. Obviously, Tyler Matzek had a rough one last night, but it's not always going to be pretty, especially early on. And we picked a really good series to have 14 and a third scoreless from the pen. I just think once we kind of figure out where we're going with the rotation, I think things will iron out and you'll get some more consistency there. But yeah, it's I really am liking what I'm seeing. Plus, we're lucky to have as much depth as we do, because other people are scrambling, and most of our depth has Any pitcher I want. Well, I've just wanted Zach Wheeler so the Braves don't have to face him because we can never touch him. But if I was gonna give you one, Zach Wheeler is the first one that comes to mind. Patrick Corbin is still doing it. Oh, okay. But yeah, definitely Zach Wheeler. I love Logan Webb is one of my favorites. I mean, I could probably take one from every rotation. But Garrett Crochet is another one to think about. Those are three that I would gladly take. But I think the factor in our rotation that I'm loving is that, like Matt said earlier, it's Chris Sale and Ronaldo Lopez carrying the load so far in terms of getting into the sixth inning or getting through sixth inning. And I think because Max Fried is going to find it. Max Fried is going to find it. He's too good to not find it. But the reality is pitchers go through slumps too. And I don't know if it's contract stuff or whatever. He just can't get out of the first inning. Maybe we should tell him it's the second inning. We're kind of going through the old Tom Glavine thing with Max Fried. Corbin is still pitching, and he gave up 7 runs today and 11 hits. It just surprised me that he was still around, I guess. And it's funny too because I think we wanted to trade Avisail Garcia for Marcell Ozuna last year or a couple of years ago, and then Corbin for Marcell Ozuna. And funnily enough, it's always the trades you don't make that are the best ones. It's amazing how that works. Yeah. I guess I was just surprised that Patrick Corbin's still around. But I guess, to be fair, there is nothing. Yeah. There's nothing the Marlins can do.
Especially with righties. I mean, setting up off the plate, knowing that sinker is going to come back to the corner.
Jackson Holiday struck out in his first at bat, which baptism by fire for the youngster, but he's going to be amazing for sure. The White Sox have been riddled by injury. Yoan Moncada, excuse me. Yoan Moncada, 3 to 6 months with a adductor injury. Luis Robert with a hip flexor, and Eloy Jimenez with a quad or something. Three of their basically best hitters are going to be out for an extended period of time, so that won't even allow them to maybe trade them, which yeah, I mean, Corbin, I do have to keep respecting Corbin because he'll throw a good one in there. He will still throw a good one here or there, but it's wow. it's the deep dive that Corbin has taken in performance is one of the more drastic ones that you'll ever see. But yeah, I mean, the Nationals, the Mets, the Marlins. Well, I don't even know if the Marlins are going to be incredibly pesky this year, or it's just a disastrous start that they're not going to be able to recover from. I'm not sure which there. But the Nationals and Mets are definitely going to be more pesky than. No, nothing much. Just different topics about the Braves collectively. Nothing that we really haven't talked about before, but just in the context of the season so far and all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I feel like the Phillies are 6-6. They're gonna find their stride probably. I don't I don't understand why everybody was so high on the Phillies bullpen, if I'm being honest, because they didn't really add anything. September 26th is when tonight's game will be made up. Because they didn't really add anything, and Craig Kimbrell, not the same, I know, but he was a huge piece in that bullpen. They've used everybody a ton. And they're kind of the same names. I just don't think I mean, I know Orion Kirkring will be a big piece when he can come back from his illness. I just don't. The Phillies didn't get marketably better. They're still really, really solid, but I don't think they kind of added as much at all. I did want to touch on the umpiring has been wow, especially the strike zones recently. Yeah, Jared Kelenic getting off to a great start has been awesome. Or I guess a solid start, for sure.
Again, I think he is going to that cutter a lot more because of this kind of a bat where he gets ahead and he needs a strikeout pitch. And the sitter a lot of times.
But yeah, I think everybody's realizing that spring training stats really don't matter unless they're super, super positive, and then you can carry it into the season. But like, they're just there to get their work in and make the adjustments you need to make and things of that nature. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I love Wheeler too. Obviously, you know how much I love him. Yeah, so I just yeah, and Aaron Nola, his velocity has been super down, and he hasn't necessarily been lights out. I mean, he got the win today, 5 innings, or 6 innings rather, against the Cardinals, but it's not necessary. There's a lot of mileage on that arm for them to give him 7 years. So and I know umpiring is really hard, and you're not going to get everything right. I just wish there was a little bit more consistency. And And I know I want the challenge system, but I only want like the ability to challenge select pitches, like have 5 pitch challenges or something. So that there's some strategy with it, but it feels like there are so many pitches that have changed the tenor of games, and sometimes it's in the first inning, and sometimes so I don't know how that would work because I still want the human element, but it's also a little weird because do you want a guy getting awarded a strike for missing his spot by 7 inches? So it's just I think there needs to be something done robo style, but I don't know exactly what the perfect solution there is. Yeah, we're all gutted for Spencer, but at least he's got age on his side, and the work ethic and the mentality of Spencer. I don't know. We talked about it a little earlier. If he's gonna keep the sweeper or the curveball, if that's a big time contributing factor, I'm not sure. But it's all right. He's gonna bounce back. He just is. I have a feeling. I mean, Johnny Venners came back from 3, and after he came back from his second one, he was still really, really solid. So, no, I'm not. I mean, the Fried is too good, and let's not forget that pitchers can have slumps too. And we still won the games, and he's frustrated, and he's working through it, and I have no doubts that he will figure it out and in the best way. And I don't know if the contracts in the situation has played factor. I don't know, but he is human, and getting off to a rough start and all that stuff got to be weighing on him. But I do know this: he hasn't checked out of being an Atlanta Brave, regardless, and I know that's been said somewhat, and I think that is really unfair for Max Fried and the Braves. You know how much everyone loves each other in that clubhouse, so I think that's a little bit unfair assessment. But no, I'm not. Max will figure it out. Max, and after, if he could just get out of the first inning, I think Eddie Perez would win that fight. Yeah, that's the thing about Charlie. It's Charlie, the entertainment experience. It's just a little. He gets a little out of sorts with the GPS sometimes, and walking the 8-9 batters in any lineup, but especially to the Mets, is you're asking for trouble, and he got trouble. And he said it in his press conference that he wanted to be a little bit more aggressive than he was, and he just, for whatever reason, just couldn't get off to the walks. You can defend everything except walks. So yeah, I think after this season, I think he's gonna retire. I do, but I hope he gets to end it the way he wants to end it, because in 2021 he got smoked in the leg, broke his leg, so he didn't get to finish it the way he wanted to there. 2022, I'm sure, I can't remember if he had necessarily any injuries, but last year with the finger issue, he didn't get a chance to pitch in the playoffs. So I think if he can end this season the way he wants to, individually and hopefully team, I think this is definitely his last year, but who knows? I mean, he's still very effective, and it's what he wants to do, and it's what his family wants to do. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this will be his last. That wouldn't surprise me if he was able to do that. But I also respect Charlie for wanting to go out on his own terms, and I'm pretty sure if he didn't think he was still solid and could help the Braves win games, he would have already hung it up. So I think that is a big clutch factor. Plus, his family must be, of course, very very supportive in his continued So, yeah, I think, and I think that again, like the way our rotation is now, Fried, Morton, and Sale, you take that in the playoffs. And obviously, we got a long way to go to the playoffs, and I think it's easier not to go that far because you never know who's going to emerge and whatever's going to happen. But that's a pretty salty 3, even though you'd love to have Spencer Strider, obviously, but the injuries are so cruel that they're so unpredictable. And I wish they were a little bit more predictable in terms of the arms and stuff, but like I said a lot during this thing, it's just not. Nobody knows, and it's a physically demanding and mentally demanding sport, so things are bound to happen. But I will say one of the most surprising teams for me, the Pirates obviously have gotten off to a really good start, but I think the most surprising is that the Kansas City Royals pitching has been so good so far and have won 5 in a row. That's been a really cool story. I think the most surprising is that the Marlins are 1-11. I didn't think they were going to be great, but 1-11 just feels. Ronald is must-see TV for sure. Eating some pumpkin seeds right now, but the Marlins being 1-11 is really shocking. The Houston Astros bullpen being as bad as it has been with the addition of Hader has been really surprising. Another pretty big surprise for me is the really weird aggressive sins at third base there's been a lot of guys easily thrown out at the plate that have taken a lot of teams out of bigger innings and walk-offs, so that's a little weird trend. I don't know what I'm having for dinner tonight. It might be a Philly cheesesteak again, which is one of my favorites. So, well, the way things have started, probably Marcell Ozuna, but I think Matt Olson was my preseason pick, so I'll stick with that. But yeah, I think it's a Philly cheesesteak that I got from Penn Station.
He was just 20 years old at the time. And he's the second pitcher in Major League history to debut during the postseason. And he did it one day after Shane McClanahan became the first, and that was against the Yankees.
So, but yeah, I think Matt Olson will lead us. Yeah, that's what I said, Olson or Ozuna, so on the same page there. Why does it feel like Seattle always never has enough offense?
Fans are loving it. They're scattering all over the place chasing these things.
And Toronto hasn't really gotten off to the start.
Kid at the game. You either get a foul ball or you get a ball, batting practice ball that got hit into the stands. Which one do you take? Foul ball. The foul ball from the real game. Right. You want the real mud on it. Yeah. So if Aaron Judge hit from 500 feet, just happened to be rolling down the steps and he won it.
I think Alan Winans was scheduled to pitch tonight, and he's still scheduled to pitch tomorrow, weather pending on that one. I think if I ever go to Philly and get a Philly cheesesteak, my expectations of Philly cheesesteaks would be ruined. I had a favorite at a local restaurant here called Jimmy's. It was my absolute favorite, but unfortunately, COVID. It was a family-owned restaurant, and COVID kind of they decided to retire, and so my favorite is no longer, and it will never be matched. But Penn Station is really solid. But yeah. San Diego's a little weird.
Now, this is one of the areas where you and I disagree. Okay. All right, now I want Anthony Volpe to get 250 hits this year. Okay, hit the ball hard. There's the gloves. He's probably catch it. You know what?
But the one thing, I don't know if I finished this thought, was that at least for most of our pitching depth has pitched in the minor leagues, or pitched in the major league, so they're not going to be deer in the headlights, so to speak. And I think Darius Vines had, in his first start with AAA, I think he had like 23 swings and misses. So I'm not gonna go with the old cheese whiz. No, I only eat cheese on pizza, on my taco poppers, and Philly cheesesteak. Otherwise, no, I'm not going with the cheese whiz. Mellow yellow. Seems like he's enjoying himself, and the fans are enjoying him. And his team's off to a great start. But yeah, I love Philly cheesesteaks. But losing my favorite is kind of is a little annoying, of course. And I'm not really one to continue to try to find things. I do. I'm lefty, so Tom Glavine. But I love all of our Hall of Famers. But I do want to see. I do want to see Greg Maddux just one time with the pitch clock, just to see if he can get it under an hour. You're telling me you can get direct TV, good stuff. I like Arby's, and of course I do, but I had it so much when I was in college because it was right there. That it's not one of my favorites now. Like I overate it, kind of thing. But we all try to have good food no matter what. But yeah, I think my favorite is Greg Maddux just because of how he went about it, and he wasn't. I just love how fast they were, how efficient they. I could say I loved every pitcher, Hall of Fame pitcher that we've had for different reasons. But I love Smoltz's ability to go from closer to starter or back to like all that stuff, and be effective no matter what he did. So that was awesome too. For sure. Brian De La Cruz will lead off against Marcus Stroman out for the fourth inning. And there's a strike. I have a question because I'm watching the Yankees and Marlins right now, and Marcus Stroman is on. Oh yeah, the strikeouts What? And I'm asking this because I really don't know. What did do-rags? What did do-rags do for you? Like, did they like soak up sweat or something? Because that's like Marcus Stroman's thing, and I've never known why what that's for. Probably Andrew Jones, because he was the first one to make defense cool. Del Murphy, another, and obviously they're kind of obvious. Billy Wagner.
And that's that cutter just running away. And when you get that break, you're going to get some swing and misses.
So pretty obvious answers, but I'm just going with the modern that I got to see play consistently. So obviously the Dodgers and Yankees are the first team to 10 wins, but I would argue that the Braves might be there had the weather not gotten in the way. So oh, okay. Gotcha. That makes sense. And I literally did not know if it's style and you can use all that for that. That's absolutely cool. Some people can't pull it off, but it kind of works for Marcus Stroman. If you had to pick a team that is gotten off to a really good start so far, that's like a bit of a surprising start, which team do you think has the most ability to sustain it? Mm-hmm. I want to say the Pirates so bad, but I don't know if they have enough. If their starting pitching and bullpen depth is there. I think their young stars are definitely there. Yeah, I don't know if the Yankees. Well, I guess the Yankees being one of the first two teams with 10 wins is a little surprising. But I thought they would be solid this year. I guess. Yeah, I didn't. I guess I didn't put that in the category. I definitely don't think the Red Sox can. I think the Astros might be in for a little bit of a tough ride, as they're kind of on the back end of a lot of things. I think they're going to be tough, and once they get rolling, maybe, but I don't know if you can fix the things that have happened with their both. Detroit, I don't know if they have enough like star power depth in the minors and things of that nature to kind of sustain things, but I like what they've done so far. Colorado is just wow. It's kind of sad, but I don't know exactly how you even begin to fix that one. Maybe just do a Cubs thing and try to draft as many quality position players as you can and just win every game 9-8. I don't know. But the Rockies are tough. The Marlins aren't. I didn't expect them to be this bad, but I don't think they're gonna.
You look in the lockers of players, and they have like 100 batting gloves.
Yeah.
How many do you use a season? You probably go through.
That's why I don't like when people say you need to make the regular season matter more, because it does matter, because the Marlins made it by one game and the Mariners missed it by one game. So I think the regular season matters at an appropriate amount. Obviously, the layoff and all that stuff is a factor, and we all know it is, but I don't know how you fix it other than making every series a 7-game series after the wild card series, which is what I would hope they would do, but I don't know how you can make that work. But that would be my solution. But I think the regular season matters because, like you said, the Marlins made it by one game and the Mariners missed it by one game, so every game does matter. But if you have the mindset like the Braves do, just win every series, then you can be okay with the inevitable annoying losses that are going to happen throughout the season. And we as Braves fans probably shouldn't take for granted that we are going to be good and solid, and we have been good and solid for the last 5 years.
Stay the way it is, the way they're, the middle of that lineup.
Yeah, so again, the D-backs were in the right division, and being able to, and that's why I keep saying the regular season does matter. So. But the Mariners have just a weird philosophy of the 54% thing. And they haven't really been able to match their offense with their pitching. And I don't think they did it again this year. So. And honestly, pitching can only carry you so far. Sometimes you got to win those games 9-8, 10-9, 7-6. Those type games, you kind of have to ham and egg it, so to speak. That was an awful call on Verdugo there.
That's what Verdugo was so frustrated with it. You called that a pitch, the ball's clearly away. It's outside. Everyone's called on the pitch.
But yeah, I think I don't know if the Cleveland Guardians can sustain it either. I don't know if they have enough pitching / off. I just don't know if they have enough depth organizationally, but I think the AL Central is going to be very interesting. I think the Twins still have way too much swing and miss. I don't know where it comes from, but it means just kind of passing the torch back and forth, so to speak. Passing the torch, so to speak. Just kind of, I don't exactly know. It's just a saying that people use in sports just to kind of keep going together in different ways. One takes it and then you flip to the. It's a weird one. I'll get the origin for you the next time we do a CassMac chat. But let's see. I think. I think that's all I have. Hopefully we'll get more consistent games. Tomorrow is a matinee. Hopefully the weather holds off. But as always, go Braves. Champions forever. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Helps out a lot. Thanks, guys. And I will get to doing live broadcast sometime probably next week. But I'll let you know. No, I don't think that's what that means. But I'll. Yeah, that's a thing too. I promise you, I'll get the origin of the ham and egg saying or whatever. But I'll just, if you're not following me on my socials, I'll try to put notes and notifications on the YouTube channel for important stuff. But I did want to say Shea Langoliers did have a 3-homer game last night, so that was really cool for him. Really, and he followed me before, so that's really cool. But I will talk to you guys probably next week sometime. Peace out, and thanks for chatting.